Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about the secret to doing things that you do not feel ready for and how real growth actually happens based off of a true story, which is my life, because I'm always experiencing things, learning, and then sharing them with you guys. But I do feel like what I'm going to say in this video is going to help. So if you are somebody who never feels ready to do the thing that they want to do, you have anxiety, you don't have a lot of confidence, you want to start a project, whatever it is, this will help you. I want to talk about the mindset that I've had to come to when it comes to getting things done, in the sense of like finishing projects and being productive, and also getting myself to do more things that I don't typically do, basically getting out of my comfort zone. That's what I want to talk about in today's video as I'm looking at the mirror, because I'm going to do some makeup. I just got out of the shower. I did my Stairmaster cardio workout today and I got up to 22 minutes, guys. Okay, I just pushed myself a little bit more, and I also did my circuit where I work on one side of the legs to hit the side glutes, go to the front, and then go to the other side. I do a little bit of a circuit with that. I am now getting ready because we are going to be going downtown tonight to watch the game, the Blue Jays game. Let's hope they win tonight. I do have a Blue Jays hat now. If you remember the last video, I was wearing a Yankees hat, and we just like won't really talk about that, even though I really like that hat. Lastly, a lot of you guys have been asking what I put on my body and how my skin is like super glowing and stuff. All summer I've basically been using this Miracle Skin body butter. I'll have the website linked down below. It's actually one of my friends, like a small business, and this will make you glowing. I did use the Fenty body butter. I liked it, but I don't know if I'm gonna repurchase it because it's quite expensive, and I think that I like this better. So the other day I posted a TikTok video and I was basically saying how your final product, and this doesn't actually have to be a product, it could just be your end goal, the thing that you want to accomplish or do or even be, your end product requires a rough draft. And of course we could actually think about this in the sense of a actual product. So let's say you're writing a book or you're coming out with a journal series, which that is what I am working on currently, but it could be a YouTube video that you're editing or an assignment, whatever the case is. Typically a lot of those things will need you to start and for you to write out all your ideas and come up with some sort of draft. Like that's just the reality of what that needs. But we don't remember that the rough draft is just this. It is rough, and it is not pretty, and it is messy a lot of the times. It's not something that we really even enjoy when it comes to the process, but your end product requires that. So when you're in the process of doing something, starting something for the first time, getting something out there in the world, whatever it is, even if it's you achieving a goal, it's gonna require a part of that journey be a rough draft, messy phase. And for instance, everyone wants to be productive. Everyone wants to know how to change habits and hit goals, and like that's the thing. And the reality is, if you want to be somebody who gets things done, you have to be okay and open to the rough draft phase. Because if you are not, guess what? You will not do it. You will not complete the project. You will not get the thing done. Another thing I think that we struggle with as humans is waiting to feel ready to do the thing. But the thing is, when you're doing something for the first time or something new, pushes you, is a little uncomfortable, you will be waiting forever if you're waiting to feel ready, because the end result of feeling ready, which is like you feeling confident within yourself and you getting that thing done, it's only ever going to come from you actually doing the thing. So you can't wait to feel ready, because that's really never going to come. The only way that's going to come is if you do the thing. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that actually crazy? That the only way that you're going to feel comfortable doing new things and becoming a new version of yourself is if you actually do it first, and you do it over and over and over again until it becomes not uncomfortable. And that really is what getting out of your comfort zone is all about. I feel like that's another thing I get asked a lot, and like I've explored it in my own life, is like, how do I be more confident? How do I be more independent? How do I go out in the world and do the things that like I want to be doing? And honestly guys, the real tea is like your anxiety for things and your uncomfortability is not going to go away until you continuously expose yourself to the thing that makes you uncomfortable until it starts to feel more comfortable. Now, caveat, when it comes to like, literally this is like what exposure therapy is, right? You're exposing yourself to the thing that kind of scares you until you realize like it's not that scary, and then you can do it and you have the tools to do it, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, you want to break things down into like baby steps, right? So that you can actually handle the thing that you're trying to do instead of push yourself to try and do something that's like way too overwhelming for yourself, because then you won't do it at all, which I do think we also struggle with that. We are very all or nothing thinking. So something I've actually been practicing within my own self, because I'm really trying to step into a new version of myself, which means I'm probably doing different things. I have more confidence in different areas of my life. I'm even more independent, all these things. We've been talking on my channel all about glowing up and things like that, right? So we're on this journey, which means I'm gonna need to do different things. So I'm very aware of the things that I hold back on doing in my life, whether it has anything to do with like work related stuff, but also just like real life stuff, whether that's like me wanting to go to a new place or a new area or make friends and things like that. So what I have been doing, and I think that you guys should do this too, because it's like really helpful to see, of all the things that you keep telling yourself that you can't do or you're avoiding, or like maybe you're waiting to do it with somebody else, but realistically it would be so much easier and you get things done more efficiently if you actually went and did it yourself, but now you have to like wait for someone else to come with you because you're too afraid to do it, whatever it is. And I can give you a few examples. Right now, I am basically living full-time in this area where my boyfriend lives. So there's a lot of like new places that I've needed to get used to, whether it's new studios, new dog parks, just like saying hi to people and, you know, getting acclimated in his gym and all of this newness in my life. And I've definitely found that there's things that I kind of like push off or like feel a little bit anxiety ridden. And even though like I'm a very independent person and I know that I can do things, but I kind of just like push them off, right? I push things that will be uncomfortable for the moment off, but I've really been trying. So there was a few things, like for one, going to this like one dog park, and this is like taking Theo off leash. Now I'm still training him with his recall and stuff, so it makes sense why I would be uncomfortable like having him off leash, but I feel more comfortable having him off leash with my boyfriend. And so that's just like one of the things that I wrote down, is like to be able to go to this park with just Theo and myself and do it. But also there's another like fenced in off leash area, so I could let him out and he's not gonna like run off and things like that. But even that, for some reason, I was like putting off and like waiting and being like, oh, I'll just do it another time, and I just like walk Theo on other trails. Of course, I'm always walking him. Another thing is I've been considering either getting Theo like a trainer or really upping my training and stuff like that, because, you know, he's a puppy, I do need to train him. And I put on my list to start asking people around the building if they know anyone who does dog training, because I just like know the power of like asking your neighbors and having a real community and like getting word of mouth recommendations versus just like going online now and trying to figure out what place is good, because, you know, I feel like a lot of places are good and like where do I go and what do I do? So I put that on the list as well. I also put driving my boyfriend's Jeep, which is just so funny to me because I'm very confident in driving. I haven't driven it in a long time because I sold my car when I was living in the city, but as soon as I get in a car, like I know how to drive. But I think it's just the fact that it's a Jeep and it's a little bit different than like a regular car that I've driven. So in my head, I'm thinking like it's just gonna be a lot. So what I was doing is telling myself, okay, like I need to practice a few times like with him in the car and stuff like that, which also is not a bad thing. And that can help when it comes to baby steps. But there is things that I also could push myself a little bit more to do, and I actually would survive a day if I genuinely had to go drive his car for something and he like wasn't with me. Like if that was like my first time driving it, then I would be fine. Another thing is like I want to be somebody who says hi to their neighbors and like asks them things and is not afraid to like have conversations, whether it's like short conversations or long conversations. And I see the way like my boyfriend is with that, and I have been somebody who's very like introverted, and it's not that I don't like talking to people or like am unapproachable, because I'm actually very approachable, and if somebody's gonna talk to me, I'm gonna be like super nice to them always. But you know, I just kind of like stay in my shell sometimes. But it's so good to just talk to people, say hi to someone in the elevator, and have a neighbor or two and have connections. That way if you go on a trip, you never know, like somebody could babysit your dog or like whatever. So anyways, I've been trying to like push myself with that. So there's like this one girl who I've seen a few times and we've had like short conversations, and one day I was taking Theo on a walk, and of course she came out at the same time, which is so funny because like I really was like considering even going at that time because it's not the time I usually go at, but of course she was there. So we said hi because we kind of already knew each other, and she was like, honestly, like if you ever need a babysitter ever for Theo, please like let me know. I would absolutely love to watch him, which is very huge for me because I don't really have anyone to watch Theo in that way, like especially when we go out, other than this one lady who's gonna watch him like when we go on vacation and stuff. But even just like the short-term things, it's so nice to have somebody. And so anyways, we had good conversation and I was really happy about that. And I wanted to really push myself to, if I needed something, to text her or to take her up on the offer or just like talk to her more, like things like that. Not just whatever she can do for me, of course. And when my boyfriend and I actually got back from one of his work trips in Ottawa, I realized we didn't have any pee pads and Theo still uses them basically just like at night. But we got back super late, realized we didn't have any, and I'm like, this is your time to message this girl and ask her like, hey, do you have any leftover pee pads? Because her dog is Theo's age as well. So I was like, this is your time, message her and ask her. And of course, she was like, yeah, I have these reusable pee pads actually, which is really cool, by the way. If you have a dog and you still like need pee pads or whatever the case is, I found these on Amazon because of her, of course, and I'm ordering them now. So first of all, that's a cool thing that ended up happening, but it just showed me, it showed my nervous system, it showed everyone that like community is a thing and like I'm good, I can ask people for things, I'm supported. Like there's so much benefit that comes out of course, you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And of course now I feel even more confident to not only have conversations with her or like ask her something if I need, but also for me to go through life doing that same type of thing. And now I just feel more confident and more secure in myself. Okay, let me quickly just put on my highlighter. I just put some highlighter underneath my brow bone always and on my cheeks. And then I actually just need to quickly brush through my hair. It is not wet right now because I hate going outside when my hair is wet, but I'm wearing my Blue Jays hat tonight. So I'm just gonna brush it, put a little bit of grease in it, some Blue Magic, if you know, you know. And then I'm gonna sit down and finish talking about that list because I think that you guys should do this list. So hold on, I'll be right back. We are back. So like I was saying with that list, I basically have written out a bunch of things that I'm constantly just like putting off because it basically requires me to get out of my comfort zone. And during the weeks, I do my best. Anytime the feeling comes up of like, oh, I want to bring Theo to the dog park, or I want to do this, or I want to drive here, but I realize that, oh, like I can't do it because it's uncomfortable, whatever the case is, or I have to wait for this and that. Whatever that is. And by the way, things will keep coming up that will require you to get out of your comfort zone because life requires you to grow. God wants you to grow, the universe wants you to grow and expand. So you will continuously keep having the same things come up. So in my head, I'm always like reminding myself of that. It's like, if I don't try and like work on this now, it's gonna keep coming up. And honestly, it's always going to make my life easier when I push myself out of my comfort zone, because over time, I will be a more confident person. I will have more things that go right in my life. I will just be a more expanded person when I get out of my shell, when I stop living in anxiety and, you know, finally go for my dreams. So during the weeks, I like to pull up this list and I do my best to work on it. But guys, it's crazy how you essentially jump timelines as soon as you do something that you have been putting off. Like, you know the feeling, I'm sure, of how good of a release it feels or how expanded you feel as soon as you do something for the first time. Even though it could be scary or it could even feel messy, just the fact that you took that step literally changes so much. It's almost like it energetically opens so many new doors and portals into your life. And even the example of me meeting this one girl who then I can rely on her to ask for something if I need it, and now it's changing something in my life where I'm getting these like new pee pads. And of course that's just a small example and it's not like super life-changing, but it actually does change my life in different ways, and it shows me that I can do more. Also, another thing that was on my list was asking around to see about dog trainers. So the other day I was downstairs and I was walking Theo and there was a dog who was off leash, and I was hesitant to like say things other than like saying hi to that person. I always say hi to someone like when they're passing me, especially if they have a dog. But I told myself in the moment, this is the perfect time to get out of your comfort zone. So I asked him, I'm like, did you have dog training, or like, did you train your dog yourself? Because that dog was so well trained. And he told me how he trained him himself, and he gave me so many good tips. And he's like, honestly, like, I think you can do it yourself. Just like really be consistent. And like, we just talked about like recall and crate training and all of these things. I felt so confident within myself for just asking, for one. And for two, it led me in a place where I almost like knew I wanted to go anyways. And that was to continuously just train my dog without like taking him to training lessons. Not to say that I would never like consider that, but I think for where we're at, I can do it. I just need to push myself, and I just needed that confidence within another dog owner to say like, hey, like if you are consistent with this, if you have this discipline, because he was a guy, so I feel like sometimes like women's discipline versus men's discipline can be different. And I am somebody who's very disciplined, but when it comes to like my baby boy, like I just want to baby him all the time. And I see the way that my boyfriend disciplines him, and it's actually helped me so much when it comes to training Theo. But anyways, regardless, obviously that's just very generalized, okay? We know how to be disciplined as women, but we definitely have that nurturing part of us. But that changed so much for myself. And again, that made me have more confidence in actually talking to more people around the area. And when you start pushing yourself out of comfort zones like that, you are going to become a more resourceful person. You are going to become a more abundant person, and you are going to be somebody who gets things done. Like I said, on my list of things to do in my head was, oh, I need to get a dog trainer, and I need to take him to the park, and I need to do this and that. Well, guess what? Me pushing myself out of my comfort zone, now in my head, I don't have this thing that I need to like do, which is I need to find a dog trainer, and I don't really know if I should do it or this, that. Like that is gone simply because I've stepped out of that comfort zone. Now, let me actually give you another example of something that I didn't do today. And it was a good example because I realized it's better to do it uncomfortable than to not do it at all, because like I said, you're just not gonna grow this way. So I went to the gym today, and there was one guy on the treadmill, and it's like a long like hallway. So it's kind of like all the treadmills and the Stairmasters at the back, and then like the main gym is at the front. So there's a lot of people at the gym, but they were pretty far away. And then there's like one guy that was like on the treadmill and stuff. And I'm somebody who, when I get in an environment like that, like the last thing I really want to do is like be recording myself and taking photos. Like I'm very about that, but also I don't need to be, like I genuinely don't need to be. People take photos of themselves all the time, and I mean not having people in the background and things like that. But I really do like taking photos if I'm at the gym, or just like a quick selfie or whatever the case is, because that helps me with my content, especially on Instagram. It's great to have a gym pic so that I can use that for like a carousel or whatever. So there was a big mirror near my Stairmaster, which is actually great for taking a photo. Now my Stairmaster was at the end, and then the mirror was kind of like in front of the middle Stairmaster, so I had to move over and stand in front of the middle Stairmaster to take that photo, which meant I had to be a little bit closer to the guy that was on the treadmill, even though he was like 2 treadmills away from me, and he was doing his own thing. Like he didn't care about like what I was doing. But in my head, like, you know, when you take a photo of yourself in public and you just think everyone's watching you, even though no one's watching you, and even if they did, it doesn't matter. But of course I'm like getting in my head. So I was just kind of like, okay, like I'm just not gonna take it right now. Like I'll just like take it later. I just didn't really feel that good to take it then. And also like I'm giving myself grace. It's totally fine that I don't want to put myself constantly like in uncomfortable situations. You have to take baby steps and stuff. But I get on the Stairmaster and I'm thinking, okay, like I'll just take the photo like when like no one is here. The reality is that wasn't going to be the day where nobody was there. And I cannot wait for the day that no one's gonna be in the gym to take a photo, because I might never get the photo, okay? And is it great to have nobody at the gym so I can have that photo? Yes, because I feel like I can be more myself and this, that, but I should really learn how to take a photo even if people are around, because nobody honestly cares and I'm allowed to take it anyway. So as I'm on the Stairmaster, guess what? Another girl goes on the treadmill beside that guy that's even closer to me, and another person, and I'm sitting here being like, okay, well, I'm definitely not taking this photo now because there's more people. And it just showed me that I was waiting for no one to be at the gym. Basically, I was waiting for myself to be fully ready and comfortable to do the thing I wanted to do, when realistically, in that circumstance, I had to do something uncomfortable no matter what in order to start feeling more comfortable. Because if I did take that photo with that guy there, I would have shown myself that he literally didn't care. I would have gotten the photo, and next time that happened, I would be more comfortable to take that photo, and I wouldn't be waiting for the day that no one was there. And so now what is on my list is to take a a photo even if somebody is over there. And listen, what's not on my list is take the photo when all the treadmills and all the stairmasters are full. First of all, that probably wouldn't be a good photo, but that would be a little bit overwhelming to my nervous system. So I say all of this to say the secret to doing things that you feel not ready for is doing it even though you feel unready, and understanding that the anxiety and the low confidence is not gonna go away unless you repeatedly, slowly, but repeatedly push yourself in the direction of the thing that makes you a little afraid in order to show yourself that you can do it. And you can do that by writing out lists and finding small or big ways in your life to really push yourself and get uncomfortable. It could simply be you are somebody who's like super introverted and you have a lot of like social anxiety and things like that, that you start to say hi to every single person that you see in the elevator, or every person that you come across when it comes to, let's say, like going to a coffee shop or something, like saying, hi, how are you? Like in the elevators, I always make sure to say hi to everyone and have a good day when I leave the elevator, even if that person isn't really interested in talking. And honestly, even if that person doesn't say it back, just saying that over and over and over, that's a small baby step, helps you build confidence within yourself, and it helps you actually build relationships and community. And I think about all the times that I have ever gotten things done in my life, and they were all from a place of me willing to be uncomfortable with it at first, and for it to feel messy or imperfect or scared, like literally doing it scared. We, I think, have this false belief that everything that we do in life needs to feel easy and be good and be perfect, and that's just not the reality. But you always have to remind yourself that like you can do hard things. Anything that you say that you can't do, you actually can do it. Like you actually can do it, but you're telling yourself, I can't do it because this and that and this and that and this and that. And if that's the case, then go through all of your excuses and figure out a way to work around them. Okay, I feel like I can't drive my boyfriend's car because I haven't driven in a long time and I haven't driven a Jeep. Okay, so then I am going to have a plan in place for me to drive with him one time and practice before actually doing it. Like that is still a good enough baby step. But I just think for me, like I already knew that I didn't necessarily need that baby step. I could actually go. Like again, I'm telling myself that I need all of these things when realistically I do not. So again, if you're also like working on something, just let it be messy and let yourself hate it and let yourself feel uncomfortable and let yourself feel like nothing is working, whatever, but do not do it. Do not do it, okay? You're gonna do it anyways. And that's probably all I have to say because there's people freaking drilling upstairs and I'm having to stop every 3 seconds. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that's just something that I've been working on in my life, is like really seeing the ways that I am staying small and staying in my comfort zone and pushing myself. And these are not like life-changing things. Like, do I have to talk to people in the elevator, or like, do I like need and must like go to this one dog park when realistically like my dog is very much so well acclimated to being outside. We go on so many walks, we have trails, all these things. It's not like that needed, but I want to do those things because anytime that I sense myself staying small and like holding something back, I just think that that's not the highest version of myself. And I feel like we're here to grow and evolve and expand. And I also just know the benefits of when I actually do push myself out of the comfort zone. It always helps me in some sense of the way. I always have a new connection. I have a bigger circle. I get things in my life. Of course, I feel better about myself. Let's say even for the piece of content, you know, taking that photo, that's great. Now I have more things for my business to help grow, whatever it is. Like there's no downside of pushing yourself and getting out there in the world. And I know the world can be scary and things are scary, but listen, nobody said it was going to be easy. Like nobody said that life is supposed to always feel like peaches and roses. You have to put yourself and be uncomfortable. But just know when you do that, that is going to make for a more resilient person, which is you. You can be more resilient than you even think. And I have to remind myself of that as well. And sometimes like you revert back. Like, I feel like there's things that I've reverted back into when it comes to like being like scared to get out of my comfort zone, that I have to like push myself back out in. And so if you've gone through a period of time where you feel like you're kind of like isolated, or I don't know, you're back in your introvert vibes and things like that, which I love being an introvert and like love being by myself. But it is important to get out there, and I think that there's so many more benefits of you pushing yourself out of that comfort zone than staying stuck. So just try to remind yourself of that as well, because it's always easy to stay comfortable. You'll always have an excuse as to why it's like better to stay comfortable, but it's really not. In the long term, it's not better for you to stay in your comfort zone. So anyways, let me know if this video helped in any way, and also let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, if you need any advice on anything else. We are becoming the best versions of ourselves on this YouTube channel. I also have a second channel, the Glow Up Secrets podcast, so you can follow, like subscribe, I should say, there if you want to see more content. We talk a lot about healing, we talk about relationships, a lot of things over there as well. I'm gonna come out with a episode on lessons I've learned in my 20s now that I am going to be 30, which this will probably be the last video that I make for YouTube, unless I just sporadically make something new before my 30th birthday, which is on the 5th. So that'll be exciting, and we are entering a new version of ourselves. I want to be more confident. I want to push myself in ways that I know that I'm not, and it's happening, it's working, and I'm seeing great benefits of doing that. And I definitely want to share that with you guys as well, and like show you guys that like we can do this, okay? Like we can do this. This is ridiculous. We can do this, okay? So I'll see you in the next one. That's the noise. That's the noise. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.